Hey everybody, and welcome back to BK's Bullets. We are going to go over the Superman Year 1 hardcover from DC Comics. This is part of the Black Label line. It is an oversized cover. It's like all the issues were this size, so this is like the original printing size. And if you look at a regular comic trade, this is how much bigger it is than anything else. Let me turn it to the side so you can see how much taller it is too. This is Year 1 Superman. This is Frank Miller writing and John Romita Jr. doing the art. And it's very, very different from what I thought a Superman story would be. I got this from, I want to say Barnes & Noble. I don't know if it's an exclusive cover. They've been doing exclusives with DC Black Label for a while. This is kind of a foil, shiny cover with the Daily Planet here. As far as the cover goes to the hardcover, I don't really like it. I want Superman to be big. Like, I get the size of the planet he's holding up here and how much he's working or not. As an image, I think it works. But as a cover for a book, I don't know. I don't think it works that good. Let's flip it over. Here's a spine. You can read that. Here's the back. So this is the Frank Miller S, basically. I don't know if he designed it, but it looks definitely Frank Miller with the way that everything's drawn and the sharp edges and the way he does his S here. Just, if you've read enough Frank Miller, you know how he draws, and this screams Frank Miller to me. So this was 3 issues, like most of the Black Label series had been up until this point. Here's the inside dust jacket. And here's the back. Also got the foil here, which is nice. So here's the inside cover. That's why I knew it was Frank Miller. I'd seen this image before, that S. So that comes directly from there, probably. Well, not really, but it's a little different. But yeah, it's basically the same thing. So that's the front. Now this is the textured cover, the same way that Batman Damned has. It's got these like little ribbing lines on here. It's not flat. So it's textured all the way. There's the back. Here's Clark Kent. Nice shot with Frank Miller doing the art on there. So let's get to the back and look at, see if there's any extras before we move on. So this is the, it tells you what it is up here, but this was like the promo image when they announced the Black Label line that this was happening. This is a Frank Miller image. Very simple. Here's the front and back covers. Again, here's a third with the Trinity. And then here's some Romita covers, I guess. Here's 2 images here. Promotional art, there you go. And then here's sketches. So they must have the, oh, those gorgeous. Who's inking him on this? Danny Mickey. All right, good. Danny Mickey. So Romita Jr.'s had a couple of inkers during his career. You have Scott Hanna, who was on him during his Amazing Spider-Man run in the early 2000s, which is where I fell in love with Romita Jr. Then he had Klaus Janson with him for a long while at Marvel, and now I think Danny Mickey is doing his inks on this. Pencil tests. Here's some bio on everybody. Alex Sinclair, one of the premier colorists working today. So let's go through the book. So since there are no covers in the back, the main covers, yes, here's number 1, are dividing the parts, the issues here. So part 1, part 2, part 3. Smallville. So this was a little weird because it's not really like Superman Year 1. Most of part 1 is Clark's childhood. So it doesn't pick up with like Clark deciding to be Superman. You get his early beginnings and stuff. He's still a teenager. You know, he hasn't quite like gone to college or anything. And then here's issue 2. So yeah, Clark Kent leaves. Issue 2 has some weird stuff with Atlantis and the military with Clark, which is something that's never been thought of or explored before. The fact that Clark might join the military or could go to Atlantis. I mean, most of part 2 takes place underwater. Look at that double page monster there. He is Superman in this. Like, he's got the costume. And then part 3 is probably called Metropolis, I would guess. Yeah. So it's all by locales, you know. So maybe the year 1 is part 2 or issue number 2 and issue number 3 together. Not really issue number 1. But here you have Lois Lane. I think Atlantis, some of the Atlantis stuff comes back here. But yeah, this is definitely a Frank Miller comic. If you can see all the words on pages, all the text boxes, the captions, but I think it's a pretty good story. I liked it. I did like it. So I'm interested to read it all again, collected as one big story. Lex Luthor at the end here. And look at that splash. The Trinity. Superman, with a black ass. I never noticed that before. Batman and Wonder Woman. Yeah, Romita draws his weird Batman ears. I don't like them at all. I don't get it. But that's how he does it. He did some work with Scott Snyder on one of those Batman books. And I was like, ugh. So there's a Batman black and white statue designed by Romita Jr. And I'm not getting it because I don't like those ears. But, I mean, you gotta say, like, this is just fantastic. Fantastic art. Some people like Romita Jr., some people don't. You know, he's got a very square style. Like, all of his faces are a little squared off. All the edges sometimes are squared off. It's more rounded edges than anything. You know, and it's changed over the years. Like, if you look at his very, very early stuff, I think in the 80s, he looked a lot like his dad did as far as, like, 80s classic comics. And it wasn't really until maybe the late 80s or 90s that he got this squared off style. But I like it on certain things, I guess. I think it works on here, on Superman. I didn't think it worked on the Batman books that I read. He was doing some other stuff for DC. I can't remember what book it was, but it didn't quite work there. So I think it comes and goes. When he's working on his own stuff, like Kick-Ass, it definitely works on Kick-Ass. I think it works here on Superman, but it might also be the presentation. This book is so large, so thick, that the square pages maybe help the squared off style on his face. On everything. Everybody's face is kind of like that. So yeah, check it out. Not quite a year 1 per se, but it's a Frank Miller Superman story. And it's also a hopeful Frank Miller Superman story. I thought going into this, reading it, that he might be a little jaded, he might be a little mean, but no, this is pretty much like a classic Superman story in terms of Superman's attitude. This is not Man of Steel Superman where he, kills Zod or anything. It's not the moody Superman from the Earth 1 graphic novel series. This is classic Superman. This is like the Superman Frank Miller grew up with. So you can't fault that. He doesn't make him grim and gritty or anything like that. Just does some weird stuff with Atlantis and the military that I thought was interesting. But, yeah, try something new. Why not? You get to do whatever you want. You're Frank Miller. You're writing a book called Year 1, for God's sake. So, anyway, but I do like this. I do like the wider pages on these Black Label books, definitely. I think if you're going to do a Black Label book, you got to do wider pages. No more anybody doing the regular comic pages. I know White Knight and Curse of the White Knight are doing the regular comic pages as well as Last Night on Earth from Snyder and Capullo, but I think going forward they got a mandate. Like, you got to do these big pages because I think I'm going to buy most of these hardcovers and I want the large presentation from Black Label. I think it makes it worth buying. It really does. I mean, 3 double-sized or over triple-sized issues. I don't know. I think they're 40 to 60 pages each. So you're getting, a lot of story for 3 issues. And they're charging $30 for these hardcovers. They are very nice hardcovers, so I don't fault them there. But I think you got to go with the bigger art. I think it looks fantastic. So, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you thought of Superman Year 1. Did you like it? Love it? Hate it? Care less for it? Let me know down below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that nonsense. And we will see you guys next time in the Funny Pages.